fighter and one of the best in the world. It's about being a star, and a promoter is not responsible to give a fighter a bunch of money if they're not earning a bunch of money. It's a business, and the business is people want to pay to see you. Why do they want to see you? Do they want to see you because you trash talk, or do they want to see you because you're Anderson Silva and you fight like you're in the Matrix, or do they want to see you because you're Ronda Rousey and you're the first ever woman ass kicker that we've ever seen like this? Well, whatever reason it is that they want to see you, that reason is why you can make a shit ton of money. It's not that you just deserve a shit ton of money because it's hard to do.
Right.
And that's where, but a lot of people get that wrong in their head. They get that wrong in their head. Well, it's show business, but it's also athletics. So it's a very bizarre combination of two worlds.
Do you think that Conor McGregor is doing a disservice to himself by putting so much like attention on, like just putting his whole UFC career on hold for this Mayweather thing?
No, because ultimately he can only fight for so long, and he stands to win like who knows how much money. I mean, he can make, it could be as much as $100 million for the fight. It's going to be insane. Asking a guy to pass up on the opportunity to make $100 million is kind of crazy. That said, he's fighting, you know,
saying
boxing.
If he wins, what if he loses?
No, it doesn't matter. It's not, the way boxing works is you get a purse, you know, like the way UFC works is different and often criticized, and I think rightly so, is that you have a win money and a show money. So say if you were going to fight Jamie and they set it up where you you fight, you make $50,000 to show and then another 50 if you win. A lot of people have a real hard time with that. And I think they should, because you're doing your best. You're giving your best performance regardless of whether or not you win. No one's going to fight harder, I don't think, at least, to get that win bonus. These guys are trying to win. They're fucking gladiators. You know, I mean, I think you should have a purse, and that should be what you get paid, and you fight your best. And that's what you get paid. Like this idea that that's double is gonna, you know, you're gonna come your way if you get the judge's nod. Meanwhile, the judges get shit wrong all the time. And to have your future, like have $50,000 or $100,000 or who knows what the number is, on the line due to someone else's interpretation of it, or you can get injured and wind up losing, or anything can happen. Like I think that's kind of fucked up. The thing about the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight,
if it's tennis, you get the money if you win.
Yeah, but that's different. First of all, it's not a fight, okay? Because like you can play a tennis match every weekend. Try fighting every weekend. You'd be dead in a month. You know, like here it is. U.S. president, yeah, they agreed to sign a deal with Floyd Mayweather. That doesn't mean anything because Floyd Mayweather hasn't agreed to it. The deal hasn't been negotiated. Conor has agreed. So that's what that means. But here's the deal. Let's be honest about this as much as possible. This is a boxing match between Conor McGregor, a guy who's never had a real professional boxing match, who's a really good amateur boxer in Ireland, who's a real multiple division world champion combat sports fighter, no doubt about that. And a striker, no doubt about that. But he's fighting one of the best boxers, if not the best boxer ever. Most likely, this is not going to work out well for him, if you had to guess. That's my honest take on it. The only way it could work out well is if Floyd takes him lightly, Conor clips him, Conor mugs him, Conor does some like old school Bernard Hopkins shit, like just ties him up, roughs him up inside the clinch, hits him with some real hard shots, or does something fucked up to him. I mean, who knows? Headbutts him. I mean, that's what Victor Ortiz tried to do to him.
I guess you can also say that he doesn't really stand there. It's a win-win for Conor, because if he loses, of course he was going to lose.
Yeah, and also Floyd is not a vicious puncher. Floyd's not
used
Canelo.
to be.
No, he never was.
You don't think?
No, he never was. He is an amazing boxer, but he has very brittle hands. He breaks his hands a lot. And he can knock you out like he knocked out Victor Ortiz, but he knocked out Victor Ortiz because he was just standing in front of him. He knocked out Ricky Hatton, who was a smaller fighter, but he doesn't knock out most guys. He stuns them. He sticks them with some hard shots, but Conor's got a really good chin, and he's a much bigger guy. So the odds are, even if Conor gets worked, he's just going to get outboxed for 12 rounds and get embarrassed and just whiff at a bunch of punches, and Floyd's not going to be anywhere near him. Or he can catch him. I mean, it is possible that he can catch him, but it's not likely. Like, the odds are going to be huge in Floyd Mayweather's favor. If I had to guess, it's going to be like 20 to 1 or something crazy like that. I'm not an odds maker. Right. But I do know movement, and I know boxing, and just a big difference between what a guy like Floyd Mayweather can do and a guy like Conor can do when it comes to the actual boxing skills. But there's another factor too that Conor has been fighting with small gloves. Now he's going to be fighting with larger gloves. What size gloves do they agree on for the fight? If Floyd's smart, he's going to make him fight with 10-ounce gloves. You know, because probably Conor will want to wear 8. I don't know what weight class they have the cutoff in. Like lighter weight classes, they use 8-ounce gloves, and heavier, they use 10-ounce gloves. You know, that's like, that was a stipulation in the Marvin Hagler Sugar Ray Leonard fight. Sugar Ray Leonard wanted the bigger gloves, wanted heavier gloves because he's fighting a big, heavy puncher like Hagler. So they might make some sort of a decision to go with larger gloves. But Floyd's a fucking 49-0, multiple division world boxing champion, and Conor has never had a professional boxing fight. That's really what it is. It's interesting. I mean, I want to see it. Don't make me no mistake about it. When the fucking first bell rings, I'll have my popcorn ready, bro.
Well, you'll probably be right there. Huh?
I don't think so. No, I think I'll be home. Yeah, I think I'll be watching that from home. I think that's whoever does commentary on that is going to be probably boxing people. It's like if you had Max Kellerman and Jim Lampley doing commentary on Floyd Mayweather fighting Conor McGregor in an MMA fight. I think that would be an embarrassment. That would be ridiculous. Just as ridiculous as it would be for me to do commentary on Conor fighting Floyd in a boxing match. Unless they wanted to have a combination of an MMA judge and or an MMA commentator and a boxing commentator. Maybe. Perhaps. I would do it with Max Kellerman. I'm a big fan of that guy. I like that guy a lot. I think that would be kind of interesting. But most likely I'll be at home watching it. You know? I'd like to see it live, maybe. I might maybe sit ringside. Maybe kind of interesting to see that. It's going to be a crazy, interesting experience to see what Conor can do. And I know he's been working like almost exclusively on his boxing for months and months and months in preparation for this. Here's the thing, that motherfucker can put you into orbit with one punch. That's a fact. You know, like if you look at this past weekend, it's a perfect example when I said about Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier having this crazy war. Conor murked both of those guys with one punch. With Eddie, he softened him up with a few punches before he murked him, but he had him on Queer Street with one punch, and he murked Dustin Poirier with one punch. I mean, he hits fucking hard. This guy, Faraz Zahabi, he's a very famous MMA coach, and he said it best. He said, Conor has the touch of death. Like he just blaps dudes and zaps them with ridiculous speed and accuracy. And when he does, you're Fucksville. The question is whether or not he's going to be able to do that to Floyd motherfucking Mayweather. And most likely Floyd's going to be nowhere near him when those punches come flying. I mean, he's a wizard. You ever watch like Floyd Mayweather defensive highlight reel?
Well, it's just him kind of running backwards?
No, him just moving away from punches, bending at the hips. He's not a runner. See, Floyd, people think that Floyd's a runner. Floyd doesn't run. He's not like running away from guys. He stands right in front of dudes. He stands right in front of dudes and maybe backs up slightly or moves to the side. But he's just so knowledgeable when it comes to boxing. And he has such a deep understanding of where to be at the right time and where the punches can come from. The left comes from here. That means the right's coming this way, and he's nowhere near that. He's over here, and that means after the right, look, what can you stand in front of him? When you watch him, the way he's able to like slide out of the way of shit, I mean, dudes just don't fucking hit him very often. He's been hit least or less than any world champion that's had 49 fights. I would say that he probably has the most successful defensive career in the history of boxing. He's literally been tagged hard maybe 5-6 times in his entire career. And he stands in front of some of the best fighters in the world, like Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Canelo was younger then. It was a few years ago, and Canelo wasn't as good as he is now. But he just stands right in front of guys and pops them in the face and just understands how to move. Like that kind of shit. Like when you're watching this highlight reel, like you're watching a master. Like young fighters, they should watch his defensive movements and abilities, I think, almost above all others, except now this new guy, Vasily Lomachenko, who I think rivals anybody that's ever lived in terms of his movement, his ability to move, and his positioning and footwork. I think he's as good as it's ever been. But, you know, he has only got like 9 professional fights or something like that. He just hasn't really... Look at this. Oscar De La Hoya standing right in front of him and he can't fucking hit him. He's throwing all these punches. Look at that. Juan Manuel Marquez, he pops him and just, whoop, slides right out of the way. Sorry, not here. And unbelievable work ethic. Like Floyd Mayweather will go to a club, go to a nightclub in Vegas, hang out, drink water, hang out with everybody, get all the accolades. Ladies and gentlemen, Floyd Money Mayweather's in the house.
Light some
Everybody goes
$100
crazy,
bills.
light some $100 bills. Then you know what he does? People will drive his Rolls Royce and he'll run. He'll run the Vegas Strip. He'll run miles. And then go to the gym 3 o'clock in the morning and do fucking 15 rounds in the heavy bag. He's an animal. I mean, his work ethic and his mind and his determination and focus. And I guarantee you, man, if he's getting ready for Floyd Mayweather, is getting ready for Conor McGregor, he's gonna be in tip-top shape again, man. He's never gonna like come in slipping.
Huh.
It's gonna be fun.
But why has he got to be so?
Such a dick?
Yeah.
Because that's how he made all that money. It's because we were talking about before, like
The show business.
is the show business aspect of it is having people like he used to be Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. That's what they used to call him, but he wasn't really making any money. You know, he became rich when he became Floyd Money Mayweather, when he started talking all this shit, and then people wanted him to get his ass kicked, and he wasn't getting his ass kicked. Like, people are paying to see him, not necessarily because they like him. They're
Right.
paying to see him because they want to see him get fucked up because he's a huge star. And he became a huge star by fucking with people, talking a lot of shit, talking about how great he is, showing all of his watches and all of his jewelry, and all. He's got this crazy house in Vegas, and you know, I mean, it's really the controversy, like domestic violence. Dude went to jail for beating up girls. You know, like there's a lot of controversy involved in him, and that's one of the reasons why people wanted to see him fight. They wanted to see him lose, and he didn't lose. He went all the way to the bank. I mean, he tied Rocky Marciano's record for having the most successful fights ever, 49-0 as a champion. That's unheard of, unheard of. And Rocky Marciano's record is a little bullshit. Because Rocky Marciano, Italians right now are going crazy. What the fuck are you saying? Rocky's the best! It's pretty much agreed that Rocky Marciano fought his brother in at least one fight early in his career. So it was like a fake fight. So pull that up. See if that's been validated. I'm pretty sure I've read that Rocky Marciano had like a fixed fight with his brother. Like back in the day, you know, like a guy like Rocky Marciano was a murderous puncher. It's probably like he would show up for a fight and people didn't want to fight him. And like the people that paid to see him, like, what are we going to do? Like, yeah, my brother will get in there. So his brother gets in there and goes down to a body shot or something. I don't know. I don't know how it played out, but we're lucky we're not in that business, dude. You think you have brain damage?
Right.
You know, from Tim Kennedy dropping you on your head? How about just getting thudded in the head by some of the best fighters in the world?
Yeah, I think I'm in pretty good shape with all that.
You seem fine.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Look, Anthony Rumble Johnson, who's one of the best fighters in the world, just retired, and he did an interview recently. And today the interview came out where he said brain damage is a big concern. And he's a guy who gives everybody brain damage. Have you ever seen Rumble fight? The most terrifying knockout artist in MMA, in my opinion. And he retired because he's worried about someone doing that to him. He's like, I don't want brain damage. He's like, I want other things in my life. It's also interesting because he's one of the best fighters in the world, and he said, I'm not really a fighter. He goes, I'm an athlete who's really good at fighting, which I thought was fascinating because it shows so much awareness. It shows what a smart guy he is, that he's really kind of aware of who he is.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So Anaheim, you're there.
I'm so psyched.
It's a good one, too. I hope nobody fucks up before the fight. They almost got in a brawl this past weekend.
You should check out that show, the
Hurt Business.
The Hurt Business.
This past weekend, Daniel Cormier hit John Jones in the face with a water bottle at a press conference.
I saw that on TMZ.
And John tried to chuck one at him, and they almost brawled. And
What's
people
up with the water bottles at the press conferences?
Well, they drain the Monster Energy cans. So when you see those Monster Energy drinks that are sitting there on the dais, those are fake. They're real Monster Energy drinks, but they have to drink them all or empty them out before they get up there.